They tried to slap that look right off my face, but I'm still grinning. And the money ain't run out yet, so I do believe I'm winning. For all the mess I was, am and will be continuing, and the fun is only beginning. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE Smackdown every Saturday night. My name's John Zindel. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
We're getting closer to the last time the tournament started on SmackDown, but was that the biggest story? I don't know. You tell me, John. Don't bury the lead. What's the top story from SmackDown for November 14th, 2025?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead. And the lead is the main event. We get Cody Rhodes again in the main event against Bronson Reed for the title. And we have the winner is kind of no one, as it's a big schmaz. And there are a ton of people involved with the schmaz. Logan Paul and Braun Breaker interfere. Then there's help that comes down. Drew McIntyre is also involved. But I think this essentially sets up what War Games will be. And, you know, we have Logan Paul standing strong with Drew McIntyre and Bronson Reed. And, you know, I think at the end, and Braun Breaker. So they're all standing tall at the end on top of Cody. Dom, what'd you think of this main event schmaz?
The winner is Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
A week ago, he was suspended indefinitely, but through a War Games loophole where Paul Heyman was allowed to select anybody on the SmackDown or Raw rosters to fill out his team there, the team that he'll be managing, he surprises everyone at the end of the night. Drew McIntyre shows up from the stands because that's what heels do.
Yes.
They're just hanging out with all the people who hate them. And then they hop the barricade because, you know, whatever. And he shows up, starts beating up everybody, doesn't go after the ref this time, goes after the other wrestlers. So it was 4-on-3 once Drew McIntyre showed up. So it was pretty obvious that the Bronze and Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre were going to have the advantage here. It makes us wonder what's going to happen with the rest of War Games on the men's side, and we'll get to a little bit later on the women's side as well. But the match was pretty good for a while. I liked Bronson Reed getting a chance here against Cody Rhodes and looking pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, this match didn't end with Cody Rhodes, you know, just dominating Bronson Reed. And so this was a save. This was like the setup all along, but Bronson Reed looked good during the match.
Yeah, I like the match, and I kind of like the matchup too. Definitely like unique styles, right? And that's I always like when they clash styles like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they didn't make Bronson Reed look like a chump and jobbed out. Like he had some good offense. They made him look pretty strong considering he's up against Cody. I guess Cody though does have that. He doesn't totally ever like dominate, and he's like not a dominant champ, right? He's always wrestling real matches.
Baby faces have to wrestle from underneath. You need the sympathy. So you always need a little bit of sympathy.
Exactly. Couple chats coming through here. Morning, John and Dom. The Fixer checks in.
Good morning to the Fixer across the pond.
And we got a hot take already. Last person for the division is going to be Brock Lesnar.
I thought that as soon as Brock and Paul Heyman had their little reunion, yeah. So to me, it was Brock Lesnar was always in there. The question was who's going to be the other people. So for me, Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre are the surprises. Brock is not a surprise if he shows up.
Yeah, I think that One thing that's a little goofy about the main event I wanted to call out.
Mhm.
So, the Vision here has an opportunity to win the belt,
Yep.
and then they interfere in the match to get it thrown out, which is like, wouldn't they want to win the belt over
Yeah.
just rock? I was like, why are they interfering? Like, this would only make sense if they had the title and they wanted to interfere to throw it off. Like, not really a well-oiled machine idea of like what you would think of this heel group, right?
Mhm.
You're like, why?
Yeah, I'm with you totally. They just had the World Heavyweight Championship with Seth Rollins, and now they're trying to get that one back. So yeah, wouldn't you go for the Universal Championship as well?
I wonder if they'll tie. I mean, they'll have to tie that into some kind of storyline, right? Because like Bronson Reed is pissed about that, or and I don't know. I would think that Bronson Reed would be like, "Hey, what are you
That's
doing?"
interesting. That could, because they've been trying to give Braun Breaker a non-lackey personality, and same thing with Bronson Reed. So the
Mhm.
fact that each of these guys are contenders in their own way for the one of the world titles, or both of them, no matter which one they go for, yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know if that's the angle they're going with, but yeah, I think this is all storyline stuff. Weird to see Logan Paul in there with a stable, So
Yes,
is he like joining the Vision? Is that what the direction is headed toward? I know that was sort of the
seems
stuff.
to be.
So
He knocked out CM Punk with the brass knucks and handed the brass knucks to Paul Heyman, symbolically, like giving it to him as a gesture. So
mhm,
I think this is good for Logan Paul.
definitely, I think that probably gives him a little flexibility of like, putting him in a stable is going to make it easier for him overall, so he doesn't have to carry everything on his own.
Well, and the other thing is they get a really good test run now, because they could, if it's not working out, they could easily just take Logan Paul out of the stable after War Games. And
Yeah.
and the answer is, well, he was just doing that for War Games.
Yeah, I do notice that they kind of make these affiliate, like they kind of make these pseudo uh stables before war games, and then they just kind of break off.
Yeah, it's a test drive. I mean,
Uh-huh.
could he stay in it long term? Sure, but you get a test drive
Yeah, I mean anyone would be crazy not to be in a Paul Heyman stable, right? They always seem
because
to
you're
do
at the
pretty
top of
well.
the card. You're on
You're
TV.
you're at the right, you're at the top of the card, and you have that assistance with the mic stuff. Because I think
Yep.
the thing is, you know, as well as Logan's done in the ring, I think his mic work is okay. Like it's not consistently great. It's like,
Which is weird because he's a podcaster, right? Like
well,
you and I are fantastic on the mic.
this is fantastic. He's fantastic on the mic when he's not in front of 50,000 people or 40,000
Sure.
people or 10,000 people, wherever the venue is.
There you
Um,
go. Tell us in the chat, tell us in the comments, are we fantastic on the mic?
tell us, tell us in the comments, the
Tell
chat.
us how fantastic we are on the mic.
We do have some more people telling us stuff in the chat here. This is from the Fixer. It's CM Punk's last member. That's going to be a difficult prediction. Could be Roman, but could be LA Knight.
Yeah, now that it looks like they've gotten Cody into it, which basically means that with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes in War Games, if that pans out that way, that means we're not getting a world title shot on the men's side during War Games,
Yeah,
because
that's
both of them are already preoccupied. We will get to it a little later. The LA Knight story, I think it has to be Roman. And I wonder if that bodes well for LA Knight. That's a teaser for just a little bit later. So
right.
I don't have much else to say about the main event here. It was a DQ. It was supposed to be a DQ. It was basically just to screw over Nick Aldis by bringing Drew McIntyre back.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. And maybe we could put a bow on the lead. But we had plenty of other wrestling matches on SmackDown. I almost said tonight. Last night, I watched
Mhm.
it this morning. But let's move into the follow. And I think this is probably the bigger one here. This is probably the more interesting thing. We get L.A. Knight in the first round of this John Cena tournament. I forget the name specifically. The
last
whoever,
time is now, maybe whatever. That's what they keep writing on the towels and the T-shirts.
yeah, last time is now tournament. So we got L.A. Knight versus a returning Zack Ryder. So L.A. Knight goes over Zack Ryder after several years of him leaving, going on the Indies, wrestling in GCW, being the king of the Indies.
Matt Cardona. Yep.
Really, probably better known at this point as Matt Cardona. He got a pretty good ovation. They were also chanting some things as he was doing moves, so the crowd was aware of him and kind of knew what his deal was. So
I was not, though. Fill me in. Is the woo his thing from years ago?
yeah, woo woo woo. That is his
Okay.
thing.
I love the trading punches where it was a yeah, woo, yeah, woo. And it's not the Ric Flair woo. It's just woo, woo, woo.
Exactly. It's a deeper, it's like a woo.
And it's a
So,
very short woo, very truncated woo.
um,
It's like he's saying wah wah, but with ooh instead of ah.
he had a pretty good career as a jobber in WWE. And I say that like he was always kind of fun. He won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, and that was like his big win.
Okay.
In a ladder match. And nobody thought he'd win it, and then he did, kind of thing. Similar to Chelsea Green, who is his wife. So kind of similar from that perspective. Really understood the internet at a time when I think everyone understands it now, but at a time when it was a little bit more coming into like, oh, this is a big deal.
Yep.
And he said some cool stuff on the Indies. He was in he's been on GCW forever. He's made a lot of money in WWE, so I think he's alluded to the fact that he's pretty paid, which is good for him. So he could just do what he wants. And he like got a lot of PBR sponsorship. So PBR would like use him as their default pro wrestler.
Of that's brilliant.
Yeah, right. Like a guy on the Indies probably makes a little bit more sense than, someone in the main roster, especially if you're trying to establish yourself as a more independent brand.
Yeah, and PBR. I mean, my goodness.
I know. I sent them an email. I tried to get an advertisement of it. I'm not going to lie.
Oh my god! Woo woo woo! Don't bury the lead in PBR.
Yeah. So, anyways,
I like the match.
I do like the match as well. I have a couple spots I wanted to call.
It's the second shortest match of the night that actually went to completion. But you've heard me say that on premium live events, you need great matches that don't have to go 15 minutes, that can go under 15. Well, on your TV shows, you need great matches that can go under 10. This was a great shortish TV match, 8.5 minutes.
Totally.
I really like this match of the night.
Yeah, ditto. That's why I led with it. LA Knight, Zack Ryder. I like the Russian leg sweep.
Yes.
LA Knight did. That was really sweet. I love the Russian leg sweep. I think you don't see that nearly enough.
And it was part of a good sequence.
Yeah.
He was doing punches, went for the side Russian leg sweep, picked him up, whipped him into the corner, and Zack went in chest first, Bret Hart style.
Yeah.
Which you love. He didn't like pirouette halfway being thrown into the ropes and hit it with his back. He went chest first in, bounced off the turnbuckle, LA Knight into a beautiful neck breaker. Got a 2 count.
And I'll tell you what, the boot to the face by Ryder looked nasty. And I think they played it off pretty well, like just by the camera angle. But just the camera angle, it looked like he really nailed him.
Is that his kind of finishing move, the run from the other side of the ring?
I don't know I don't know nearly enough about him, to be honest with you. Because he was basically I never really saw him do his finisher because he was a jobber. So, I didn't really he would just lose all the time. So I didn't know what the finish was.
Okay. Yeah, he hit that running kick to the head, got the 2 count out of it. I mean, Zack Ryder had some other things. They were calling something a Rough Rider, which looks like a flying leg lariat. It's not quite a Thez press where you leap on the guy and you hit him square on. Zack Ryder goes a little bit to the left, so his right leg basically delivers a lariat. I like that Rough Rider. He had a great sequence where LA Knight did the inverted DDT, then did his reverse kip up, did his leap to the top turnbuckle for the elbow drop, but Zack rolled forward. LA Knight landed on his feet, but turned around right into a Rough Rider for that 2 count. Great. These are guys who they couldn't have possibly wrestled each other. Right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, they were never in the same place before. But it's
Yeah.
just 2 guys who've done enough wrestling in enough places where it looked like they had chemistry.
I don't know if
This
they
was fantastic. Go ahead.
I don't know if they ever met up in TNA or because I don't know if I doubt that Cardona was in TNA. I don't think he was. So yeah, they must have not, because LA Knight spent a lot of time. Pretty much, it's almost like they swapped them out. I think when Zack Ryder got let go, LA Knight was more in NXT. But I'm really not that familiar with it. This is a great point, actually, by the Fixer. By the way, LA Knight and Zack Ryder have almost the same body build. It's crazy. I
Yes.
noticed that. I was like, jacked dudes that are like super duper tan. They kind of like have the Hulk Hogan look, both of them, you know? They look like a hot dog at like 7-Eleven that's just been there for hours. Like that skin tone where it's like way
Oh,
over
you're
top.
making me hungry.
That like that hot dog that needs to be thrown away. They need to put new ones on.
I want a gas station hot dog.
But anything else you have from this match, Dom?
Yeah, the finish happens again. These are sequences, and each guy is playing off it. Just fantastic chemistry. Zack countered a BFT with a roll up for a 2 count, but LA Knight after the kick out charges, but Zack gets his knees up in the corners. Zack goes to the second turnbuckle for what looks like a leg lariat from the second turnbuckle. LA Knight sees it coming, counters it with a power bomb, and then as Zack staggers to his feet, blunt force trauma for the pinfall. These guys look like they knew what they were doing. And I'll take Fixer's analysis there a step further. They not only look like each other from a build standpoint and the physicality, they look like each other when they start moving around the ring. They look like 2 guys who could get into a fight.
Yeah.
They
totally.
move that way. They have that athleticism. They look like they're strong, not just like built up and swollen muscle. They look like they're strong guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Which they are. We've seen LA Knight do the tilt-the-world power bomb on a bigger Roman Reigns.
Right. There's bodybuilders in there that just are so awkward, but that's not the case with them, right?
No.
They do seem like people that are athletes. Yeah, Fixer
And with
said
LA Knight winning, they could almost be twins. Oh, I smell a tag team if it doesn't work out in singles.
right.
With LA Knight winning, this is why I think maybe he wins this opening round match in the Cena tourney. Maybe he wins his next round as well. And so they're still teasing that he could be John Cena's final opponent, so he's not going to be in War Games.
Yeah.
And jeopardize that. Like somebody else can do that. If it also means that we're going to get more LA Knight on SmackDown, great. It's like we traded LA Knight for Sami Zayn, but now LA Knight's back. And Sami Zayn's back. Like, well, how did we do this? How did they do that?
I was so pumped when I saw LA Knight was on the card. I was like, thank God. Because I said, like, we need something. Like, I gave the thumbs down to the last show. I'm like, where's LA Knight? Where's Gunther? Like, I need someone to bail out this crap show. And I think LA Knight did it. And I do want to say one more thing about LA Knight.
Sure.
So they pan to the crowd before he comes out.
Mm-hmm.
They hit his music. There's multiple signs in the crowd for him, and everyone stands and it's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, it's been 2 years. He's way over. I think he's overdue. I don't know, like, why he doesn't have a major title or what's going on, but it's like, dude, give this guy the push. You
Yep.
know, he has been ready
It's not
for
out
years.
of place if he gets one. Also, Zack Ryder getting cheers as well.
Yeah.
So I like that this turned into babyface versus babyface. And LA Knight did the same thing that he did when a couple of years ago when he faced, or maybe it was just last year, when he faced Ludwig Kaiser in Germany, and Kaiser got that huge pop. LA Knight, before they lock up, he'll kind of side eye the crowd and smirk, and then look across the ring at his opponent. Like, where did that come from? They're cheering for you. Like, not that he's annoyed at it, but he's like, he's almost like, acknowledging his fellow competitor in the ring. Like, yeah, man, you got them. So I like to see that from wrestlers, because it tells me that they do adjust on the fly. Like, they don't, not everything happens the way they expect it.
Right.
And I liked LA Knight teasing at the end. He would do the "you can't see me," then he'd stop and he'd go, "You can see me. I'm coming for you, John Cena." It wasn't a heel thing, but it was just like, these are playing up that these are competitors.
Yeah. He's not his best. I mean, he still wants to win, right?
Yeah. You don't have to like everybody. And they've done a good job on Raw of making that his personality.
Yes. He does
he doesn't want to be in a faction.
He doesn't
want to hang out with CM Punk all day.
He does have an edge to him, which makes him more interesting as a character. Like, where, he could easily actually be a heel like that, like tomorrow, and you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
He was supposed to be a heel. The crowd wouldn't let it happen. And 2 years later, like you said, the crowd still likes the guy.
Yeah.
But this was him. He was supposed to do this, but get booed. And the crowd wouldn't have it. They're like, this is great. We need to see more of this guy.
Right. The LA Knight effect, man. I'm glad that he's back, and he's due for that big push. Oh, Mike, what if he retires Cena? Who knows? I mean, that would be a heel turn, right? If he beats
I don't know. I think that would be a great match.
Yeah. No, I would really look forward to that.
They have a little bit of history. LA Knight came to John Cena's aid in that tag team match against the Bloodline that went at a pay-per-view a couple of years ago. So they have that. LA Knight also beat Miz at WrestleMania. Was it WrestleMania when John Cena was the guest referee? And at that point, John Cena gave LA Knight a good rub at the end of it, where he raised his hand and was pointed to him, and the two of them kind of like got over whatever hostilities they had, just enough for a handshake. So so John Cena's been in LA Knight's corner in a couple of different storylines over the last couple of years, since you and I have been watching Don't Bury the Lead. I've been watching SmackDown here doing Don't Bury the Lead. Yeah. So I'd like to see that match.
Right. Dom, we're going to keep it moving here.
There you
We're
go.
talking about matches we want to see, but we also are going to just talk a little bit here about the next match. Do you want to pick one from your side?
Sure. The other Cena tourney match was Jey Uso versus The Miz. This match goes about 10 minutes. The Miz tries to set up the skull-crushing finale from the second turnbuckle, but Jey countered it with a fireman's carry, dropped The Miz to the mat, and then Jey hits a spear as The Miz is staggering up. Then Jey with a top turnbuckle splash for the pinfall. Good match. Makes me wonder if Jey Uso is still babyface and LA Knight is babyface. And over on Raw, Sheamus and Rusev are both kind of babyface-ish. They're making all the babyfaces win so far.
Yeah.
So something's got to happen. There's a Gunther first-round match coming up that we got to see. And Gunther's a heel. But there's got to be other heels that advance in this tournament. This can't just be all baby faces going to face the John Cena babyface. I mean, unless they're really milking the Jey Uso potential heel turn, maybe it happens at Survivor Series in War Games that he turns on the other people on his team. But for now, Jey Uso's a babyface still. And LA Knight's a babyface.
I feel like the thing with Uso isn't that he's not over with the crowd and not that he's not a good face. I don't know if I would want to turn him heel, but I could see it just trying to
They've
get
been
something.
teasing it. He
Yeah.
walks out on Jimmy. He refuses to help the other baby faces when they need it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I do have to say, always a pleasure to see The Miz. He's pretty good.
Yes.
He's still good, which is
Yes.
crazy because I haven't seen him for years, and now they put him on SmackDown. I'm like, and I see him wrestle. I'm like, oh, I remember. He's good now. Crowd loves, and you mentioned it, the 5 knuckle shuffle. Like, yeah, that's pretty solid. And I only thing I really have in my notes is the crowd loves Yeet. They love screaming it.
They do. They like the chants. Woo, yeah, yeet.
He's got something with the Yeet.
Yes, because it's also got a hand gesture with it. Nothing else has a hand gesture. Yes.
Yeah, the Yeet. Yeah.
Like he's conducting an orchestra with the yeet.
Sometimes you just tell them what to say, and I want to reference just the opening segment with Io Sky. She goes like this and starts booing really ridiculously.
Yes.
And then the crowd starts booing, and then like they're mentioning their opponents, and she goes like this, and the crowd's like, boo, okay, we should boo here. It's like you gotta just tell them sometimes, like, this is what I expect you to do, and then the crowd does it. Like they want to scream, just put them in the right direction, right?
Sure. Yeah, you can do that. Play to the crowd.
Yeah.
So some of the other stuff you said you enjoyed watching The Miz. I do as well. He hit a chest cracker out of the corner right into a DDT for a 2 count. Jay ducked a charging kick and hit a side slam for a 2 count. Both guys looked well. Miz did hit a skull crushing finale for a 2 count, a 2.5 count, really. So it was a good match. Belonged on TV. Good to watch on a SmackDown. Not quite as good as the LA Knight Zack Ryder one, but a worthy match for a SmackDown. You mentioned the opening segment. Do we want to get to the women's War Games?
We can.
They don't have a formal match here, but they recap the women's tag team championship angles with the Kabuki Warriors dethroning Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and also with Nia Jax and Lash Legend coming out to be sort of 4 heels until Io Sky and Rhea Ripley made the save. So Raw went off the air with 4-on-4, which looked real good. And they teased that again tonight. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky in the ring. Rhea doing most of the talking, but out there also to give Io a chance to work on some of her promo work. And Io gets very little in. She was better just with the hand gestures. She did this and the crowd booed, and she did this to herself and the crowd cheered. So there you go.
Yeah.
She did real well, but they bring out Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and Alexa says, yeah, she's ready to join up for War Games, and Charlotte says she doesn't trust Rhea. She thinks Rhea's a snake, and Rhea probably thinks the same about her. And I'm sorry, but I can't do this. If Alexa Bliss wants to do this, fine. But Charlotte says she's not going to do this. And later on, it becomes an issue backstage as Rhea, Io, and Alexa are all talking together, and they get jumped by the 4 until officials break it up. So again, the men's War Games tease went off the air 4-on-3 with the heels, and backstage 4-on-3 with the heels, getting the upper hand.
Right.
So kind of the same formula as they build the teams and build the angles.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I think that it's time, right, to probably set the teams. Like, I mean, how far away is Survivor Series?
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's time to
It's the 29th.
Figure out the teams.
Thanksgiving will be here soon. Gobble, gobble.
They've
already told you to take your frozen turkey out of the freezer and just start defrosting it in the fridge, depending on how big it is.
Yeah, it's time. Yeah, so that's the opening segment. Do you want to talk about the women's match tonight?
We did have a women's match.
We got Jade Cargill versus B-Fab, and B-Fab's first ever title shot.
Yeah.
And somewhat predictably, Jade Cargill wins in, I would say, practically a squash. There was a little offense from BFAB, but pretty much a squash. What you think of this one, Dom?
I wrote down squash, jaded for pinfall, 2-minute match. And post-match, Meechin checks on BFAB in the ring. Jade walks over and kind of hovers over them. Meechin stands up. Jade shoves Meechin. So it looks like they've already set up their next squash match. Poor Meechin,
Poor Meechin.
who deserves better than the squash they're going to give her. Poor
Is
BFAB. She's been working hard. We've seen her at the dungeon working with Natalya.
she got some
They all
offense.
deserve better than squashes.
She got some offense in on Jade that looked realistic. Like she got a kick way up to her head, and
Yep.
I was like, okay, like as she got the offense in, maybe they're gonna have a match, and then it was just squash.
No.
And yeah, and like Jade's checking her clock when she's done, like it's time, like she's bored. But the only thing I'd have to say is it's not clear that Jade's a heel, and she's not really making it clear. She's just doing these awesome power moves that are like fun. The crowd chanted one more time for the power bomb. So they love the power bomb and they wanted her to do it one more time. And she really blew it there because she got to milk that and say, should I do it one more time? No, I'm not
Right.
going to do it one more time.
Yes, yes. As the heel, you make the crowd think that you're with them, and then you like screw them over. Yep.
Totally.
The time thing, she's mocking Tiffany Stratton and maybe also pointing to the fact that her matches don't take that long. Tiffy time. No. Jade time. 2 minutes and it's over.
2 minutes. Why am I the champion?
2 minutes and it's over, baby. Jade time. It's like, do you remember like early in his career, Mike Tyson, like all those first round knockouts?
Yeah.
That's Jade.
That's Jade, right?
It's just first round knockouts.
Yeah, I guess BFAB is probably the one on the roster to take that. But you know, she got some TV time. She got a title shot. I think her career was really, really in trouble when she was teamed up with Top Dollar. So it's good that she had.
The what are the Hit Factory or whatever they were.
Yeah, the hit something. Hit Row.
I'm completely forgetting them. They were forgettable.
Hit Row.
Hit Row. They're forgettable, and I forgot them.
We got some stuff coming in here for the Fixer. Let me.
Hey, there we go.
Jade versus BFAB FFS. What is this booking? Squash, baby.
It's the fall. Squash is in season this time of year. You got your zucchinis, you got your pumpkins, you got all sorts of gourds. It's decorative gourd season.
If they're going to do the squash, it would be better if they do the local indie jobber. That's always the better squash. Because then you see like someone that's like, I don't know who they are. They don't have a theme song. They're just standing there in the corner, and then they lose. And you're like, I always find that more interesting. I'm like, who is this guy? And it's like, oh, this is like the NJCW Intercontinental Champion, you know? Like,
yeah, but the only problem with that is like you'd be scratching your head going, how did this person get a title shot?
yeah, why?
Like they want these to be title shots. Now you put a belt on somebody, you can't do the local jobber because now everything's a title shot.
Totally.
So good for BFAB for doing the job, for getting out there. She's a good athlete. She's like you said, she's pivoted on her own career from being a valet to being a believable wrestler. Like she goes in the ring and you don't think, oh, she's crap. No, she's pretty good.
I have some good chats here from Fixer I want to send through that.
Very good.
Looks like WWE are in a rush to split Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, which is going to be a mistake.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought on that. It seems like there's more mileage. Like you can get more out of Charlotte and Alexa together. On the other hand, Jerry Seinfeld always said, end it while they still want more.
Yeah.
Like, leave the audience wanting more. That's preferable to overstaying your welcome. So if this is the end of Charlotte Alexa for now, they did not overstay their welcome, and depending on how each of their singles pushes go, they could reunite down the line.
Hmm. And that's great advice from Jerry Seinfeld. Seriously, like, don't go too long where you just like don't remember it, and then it's like, oh, it's gonna end. It's like, who cares? I kind of want it to end, right?
We
Please,
do
but
not follow his advice here at Don't Bury the Lead. The Italian goodbyes can get a little long in the tooth there.
oh yeah, this shows we could cut an hour easy, but
We can,
we could. Yeah, Jerry is he would not be a happy camper.
we like Jerry, but he's not our mentor here.
Right,
We do more of a Kramerica style.
yeah, we're more Kramer than Jerry.
We need an intern. We're just dropping balloons full of oil from the fourth stories of apartment buildings.
Right.
Look out below. Oh, that didn't work.
Oh, that didn't work. Kramerica Industries. Great throwback. A couple other things here. Could be why they're going to push Charlotte Flair back into singles matches and title push. Big mistake, but giving Jade 2 squash matches on the trot WTH. Yeah, so I kind of agree that, like, if they split this Alexa and Charlotte up, then Charlotte's probably going to get pushed to the top again. But I kind of like where she's at now because she's not so in your face, and like it's a pleasure to see her. When before it was always like, oh, here's Charlotte, she's going to win another title, right? If you can remember when she won it from Ronda Rousey, after
Yes.
Ronda Rousey wrestled a match, she challenged her and then beat her. And I was like, what? She just challenged her after she's all beat up,
Yes.
and then she just beat her. That was
Yes.
that.
And people cheered.
People were like, yeah, good. You jumped someone.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving.
Charlotte Flair also very interesting. During that opening segment in the ring, Charlotte comes out without her knee brace. So I knew right away, okay, she's not doing anything physical.
Yeah, right. Right. They didn't even allude to it, right? Because if she
Nope.
doesn't have her knee brace on, she can't do anything. We have a couple, or I think really one more other match.
One more match is the U.S. Championship Open Challenge. Ilya Dragunov versus Axiom after crapping all over Tommaso Ciampa again backstage, saying that he only fights someone who's honorable. And so he's not going to fight Tommaso Ciampa. He says, I already have my opponent. And that's when Nathan Frazier and Axiom walk over. And of course, DIY is like, oh, these guys again, you know.
Yeah. This was a really good match, though. This was very close to the match of the night for me.
Yes. These are close to matches of the night, except that, like, if every time Ilya Dragunov has a match, it's going to be a sped up pay-per-view main event where everybody's kicking out of finishers for 12 minutes.
Right. Then
I'm going to go like, oh, come on, man. Wrestle a different match.
I did like the beginning with all the chain wrestling.
Yes.
I liked the way that they opened it up. They did some real wrestling. They did some, I would say, good chain wrestling. Sometimes with chain stuff, it looks fake, right? You get them like it's slow, it's awkward. They're like getting them in like wrist locks, and they're like going like that when really they could move around with it. But I think with Ilya's Dragunov's his MMA background or his abilities, he understands like things he can do in those angles, like, and work the angles to make it look a little bit more realistic. And it's funny because Michael Cole's like, this is great if you're one of these people that like this style of wrestling. And I know that it was like a backhanded compliment. Like, oh, this is because the crowd was dead and I was loving it.
Yes.
And Michael Cole was like, yeah, this is great for those of you that like this. And I was like, no, I do like this. This is great. A couple other things too. The Northern Lights release by Axiom was really cool.
Yes.
That Northern Lights slam. I Axiom really impressed me during this match because I haven't really seen him too much, but he
Mhm.
felt less like a luchador. Like sometimes they just bring in guys and they will have masks and they just are like default luchador.
Yes.
He did the Spanish Fly, which I put my hand to my head. I was like, no, you're doing the default luchador, Spanish Fly, no. But the Northern Lights release, like that's not very luchador, and the DDT off the ropes, that's just very unique, and I haven't ever seen that. So
I've never seen that either. That was so cool.
awesome. That's the thing. I don't mind lucha libre, but don't do the standards. Do the other stuff. Do that DDT off the ropes. Like that's when you incorporate it, right? So I think
You mentioned that Northern Lights release suplex. I wrote Ilya does a German suplex, then another, then Axiom escapes, hits the release suplex, both men down, crowd dead. And then like 2 minutes later, the crowd is going, "This is awesome."
right. The
What? What?
the crowd's fickle. They're fickle, Dom. I think it's
They go
because
from nothing to "This is awesome." And so I'm starting to wonder, maybe they're not dead when they're dead. Maybe it's a Monty Python, "I'm not dead." You know, maybe they're just really paying attention and watching like you and I are, but in our homes rather than in the crowd. Maybe they're just paying attention and not just, getting animated every second of the match. So maybe I should start interpreting that as they're not dead. They're just like paying attention early and getting a feel for it.
so that's a great point because I wanted to talk about something.
Okay.
One of the things that Dragunov is doing right now is, and I'm trying to figure out why I like him. He does what's kind of called Japanese strong style, where the striking's really stiff, and it has those slow, real wrestling holds, and there is a sense of serious realism in his game, and that's
Mhm.
considered strong style in Japan. And because it's like that Japanese strong style, that's why the crowd almost is quiet during it, like they are in Japan. Like in Japan, they're completely silent until something big happens, then they cheer. Or there's like a nice exchange between both wrestlers, and then there's like a break, and then they give a golf clap. They're like, "That was good." But Japanese fans are really smart, and they don't do chants and stuff like that. They don't go crazy. They're not like the UK fans who are like singing over everything and not paying attention. Um, uh, I have something for the Italian goodbye to talk about, but I'll bring it up.
Okay. Every time people tell me how smart the Japanese fans are, I just remember how people would line up dozens deep just to get smacked by Antonio Inoki. Like fans would just do this. It was like considered an honor just to stand in line so Antonio Inoki could slap you.
Not me. Oh man, he's the real deal. I'm not getting. I
Yes.
would not want that. But anyways,
One of the wrestlers who have body slammed Andre the Giant, by the way.
yes, and deservedly so.
Right.
And if you want to dig through too, Inoki, he's got some ridiculous shoot fighting clips on YouTube against some poor soul who was stiffing him too much, and he just beat him up, and that was the end of the match. There's blood everywhere, and the guy's beat up, and you're like, oh no, this went horribly wrong.
Strong style golf clap.
It went it went too strong style.
Yeah.
Anyways, I like this match.
I do like the match. You talked about the Spanish Fly. That played into the finish. Axiom hit the Spanish Fly, then tried a charging move, but Ilya caught him with that torpedo, which is kind of a spear variation. He goes high instead of toward the gut.
Yeah, it's cool. I like that move a lot. The Moscow torpedo.
Or whatever. Yeah. And it's weird because you figured he'd do a regular spear because he's short, but no, like the shortest guy doing the spear, like aims for the shoulders and head. So it's like, yeah, so Ilya catches him with the torpedo, and that sets up that forearm drop of his that they called the H-bomb, and that's the pinfall. Match goes about 11 minutes. Post-match, Tommaso Ciampa attacks Axiom, walking back up the ramp. So the DIY versus Fraxium feud is probably going to continue.
Yeah. No, but good match. Anything else from the show you want to talk about, Dom?
Yes, they're teasing something, and they finally told us what it's for. But it was the thing that I thought could be War Games, which is Solo Sokoa and My Family Tree versus the band of misfit toys that are showing up there. So this comes out of a Sami Zayn in-ring promo where Solo comes out and says, I'm not going to beat you up now. I want you when you're medically cleared. And Sami says, well, you don't have to wait long. I'm medically cleared. And it eventually becomes a 5-on-5 when Shinsuke Nakamura, Rey Fenix, and the Motor City Machine Guns come down to battle all 5 members of My Family Tree: Solo Sokoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Talatanga, JC Mateo. Nick Aldis later on mentions that the night before, I think it is the night before Survivor Series, on SmackDown, they're going to have a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, which I think was the 5-on-5. And then as each person gets beat, that person gets eliminated, and the match continues with one team having an advantage. So it could wind up 5-on-1. It could wind up 1-on-1, 2 on, whatever. So do you remember this traditional Survivor Series match? And tell us in the comments or the chat, do you remember the traditional Survivor Series, kind of like reverse battle royal, where everybody's in the match and you keep getting eliminated everybody starts in the match, and as you get pinned or submitted or counted out, because that's allowed as well, you are out and your team is then a man down. John, do you remember the traditional Survivor Series?
Yeah. So it was a lot different, right?
Yes.
Where it was elimination, and I like War Games better, but yeah, I always was like, I didn't really get. I was like, this is just a big tag team match, so
Yeah.
it really was reliant on the booking and like the competitors involved with it. Like one
Sure.
time they did Raw versus SmackDown, it was so lame because it was just a tag team match between Raw people and SmackDown people to see who's better, Raw or SmackDown. It was like that was like the worst. But that was the worst. And then when they made it War Games, there's a cage. At least you're getting 2 rings, the cage. This is a real specialty match. That's where the
Yes.
booking doesn't matter as much. You're getting the huge cage. You get the double ring. The double ring also leads to a lot of unique spots you can have, right?
Yes. You can use the area between the 2 rings where they join.
AEW just did Blood and Guts on Wednesday.
Okay.
Was a really good show. They instead of Dynamite, they basically it was Dynamite, but they call it Dynamite Blood and Guts.
All right.
And they had a women's and a men's that's very similar to War Games. Basically what they do is like there's a countdown and then the people come in rather than standing in the cage outside of the thing, like they
Okay.
just come in. And then they had a championship match too. That was Falls Count Anywhere. But it was
All right.
good.
Very good.
But Blood and Guts, yeah, people were bleeding. There was blood everywhere, So I like that they leaned into it. That they're like, we're doing one show and it's just to be crazy, and this is just the one show that we go crazy.
Was John Moxley involved?
You better believe he was involved, and you better believe he was bleeding like a. He actually wasn't bleeding that much. There was other people bleeding more. There was a girl bleeding, and she's such a like a diva girl. Like she's not a very good wrestler, and she shouldn't have even been in it. But she did like 3 blade jobs, and she's just like bleeding all over the place. But she sucks at wrestling too, so she's just like bloody in there, and she's just like an average wrestler. I'm like, all right, calm down. But anyway, I know you're doing this for an Instagram picture later. I know because she's like a diva, right? But so anyways, yeah.
Yes, Instagram for people who treat the present like the anticipated past.
The anticipated past. I love it.
I want to say I'm getting that from Dan Dennett. Maybe he's like a philosopher person, but he was talking about the Instagram generation. and about people going around taking pictures of everything. It's like they don't experience that, they experience the present as the anticipated past.
Right.
Like something cool happens and their first thought is, oh, this will be great to look back on later.
Right. Instead of just enjoying it.
So like yeah, so yes.
That's more for the Italian goodbye.
Right, there we go. We've got 2 more segments before we get to the Italian goodbye. Is it drive time?
Oh, it almost is. There's a couple chats here that I want to push from the fixer.
Very good.
Um,
It is live time.
yeah. Tommaso Ciampa is really getting his buttons pushed to the point he's going mental. Ilya Dragunov is playing with fire there. Ooh.
That's his character though. It's always been that.
Yeah.
Like when they teased the breakup of him and Gargano, it was Ciampa who was like, had the short fuse and was at his wit's end. Yeah, that's his character. That's a par for the course for him. That's his lane, and he's very good at it.
Ciampa's really more correctly booked as a heel, and in NXT he used to come out to no theme music, and then they would be like, and the crowd would chant "F you, Ciampa." So like, yeah, he was really over. Like, I mean, it was only a small.
So that was his theme music.
Yeah, his theme music was people chanting "F you." Axiom is a damn good wrestler.
Yes.
And one comment about what we're saying. Trust me when I say the UK fans in the live audience do pay attention and multitask the watching and singing. Check out any vid on YouTube for Premier League football chants. I don't think it's the UK that's as guilty of this. I think it was other countries. It might have been France. I don't necessarily think it was the UK. It might have been France where they cheered and seemed to be cheering not really about like the match per se.
Are we united in ragging on the French? Fixer, tell us. Are we one here?
The French always seem to deserve it.
Right? We love you to our fans in France.
We do. If you're watching in France now, please stay. We're joking.
Fantastic. We're from Jersey. We make fun of ourselves.
This is true. We're usually trashing Jersey, but we'll take some shots at France too.
Why not?
All right, Dom. So now I think it's time.
It is, because we're just going to completely skip over Aleister Black and Zelina Vega getting a video that I don't know what it was about. Apparently, Aleister Black wants a title shot.
Aleister Black? You mean Timu Karrion Kross?
Yes, getting the thing that Karrion Kross never got.
Yeah, right. He gets the title shot, right? He comes in, they're like, yo, I really like your gimmick. This is getting over. I'll give you the title shot. All right, so...
We've never seen this before.
Right. So, Dom, is it time for the thumb drive?
It's time for the drive. It's the road to War Games. We're always on the road here at Don't Bury the Lead. It's drive time. It's when you and I condense this entire program we've watched into a simple thumbs up or thumbs down. That's right. All the data gets compressed onto the thumb drive. There are no ties. There are also no star ratings, no letter grades, no number grades. You're taking this course, pass, fail.
Dom, we're not Dave Meltzer. We don't do star ratings. We don't do 7 stars at the Tokyo Dome. We don't do 2 stars for a SmackDown at the MVP Arena in Albany, New York. No. We don't do stars. We just say a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So are you ready?
I am pondering your statement there. I wonder what that means, that it's not a 2-star show. Is it better or worse than that?
3, 2, 1. Oh, 2 thumbs up. Dom, why'd you give this show a thumbs up?
Yeah! That's my analysis. Why did you give it a thumbs up?
Exactly the same analysis. LA Knights back, baby. I wrote LA Knights back, thumbs up. It could have been anything else on the show.
And it was for a really good match. The Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona was a good surprise back. They had a really good match. The rest of the show was pretty standard, but if it's a standard show, but you get a really good TV match with LA Knight, thumbs up. I'll take it.
Yeah, and they could have had the next hour be a TKO like meeting where they're talking about how much money they're making, and Triple H is out there,
Yes.
and he's out there with Nick Khan, and they're like, "We're doing better than ever. We're charging so much for the seats." Like,
It could have
we're
been the
charging
quarterly earnings call that they just did.
oh man, you won't believe how much we're gouging these customers for the seats, and now it's $30 a month to watch this stupid ESPN app instead of it being like $6 a month like it was before. But anyways, yeah, thumbs up. I thought the other matches were good too. And I would say this: some of the other matches were good. There's the squash match you could throw out. I liked the opener, Jey Uso versus The Miz. I thought Axiom looked really good, which is good to see someone that I don't really know looking good, and Ilya Dragunov, I agree with your assessment. I hope it's not kick out city, but I'm really enjoying him so far. I think for me, he's a really good talent.
Agreed. Yes, totally.
It's Saturday night WWE Thumb War.
Yeah.
The Fixer, are you thumbs up or thumb down? You didn't give it to us. Or thumb sideways.
There are no ties.
There
Fixer,
are no ties.
you know that they're watching us, right? The man with 3 H's watches us. He has Darren, the intern, is watching us. There's another Kramerica reference, but we know they're watching us because every now and then we say things and it winds up on TV. When they start running the next ESPN pay-per-view, because they're trying to rename the Vince McMahon era pay-per-views other than the big fours. When we see Thumb War, they're watching us. Fixer, you better take credit for that when we see like Thumb War live from Peoria, Illinois, in the middle of June next year for no reason.
For no reason. Because Peoria, Illinois paid the money. Yeah, so I think that'll be good. Okay, minus the squash, I'll give it a thumbs up. Oh, we got 3 thumbs up here, folks.
There you go.
Yeah, I have to say, good show. Great to see LA Knight back. But I think it's time for our next segment, Dom.
It is. And do you want to start this off? Because you sent me something you saw, and you've been saying you may want to do. Did you want to do video during our live stream, or are you going to cut that in when you make the edited video?
No, I'll do it during the live stream.
Okay.
But
since I mentioned it, if you haven't subscribed over at YouTube, wherever you're watching the live stream, head on over to the YouTube Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube, where you can not only see the archive of these full shows, these live streams, but you also get the edited videos that John makes that are not only from our live streams, but he also does video essays sometimes and other fun stuff that he finds as he's making his way around. We've got some other sports stuff there and music stuff there every now and then. And the hashtag shorts that are under 60 seconds. Help us climb the next mountain. We're very close to 1,200 subscribers. Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube. Join us for all the fun.
Dom, do you want to maybe bring up the article, read the article, and then I'll show the video clip?
Sure. Do you want me to share screen?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want me to share the screen right now?
That works.
Or do you want to do your share first?
I'll do your share first. I think add some more contacts, and then I'll show you the edited video.
Sure.
So.
Okay, here we go. The share is underway. Happy birthday to Chris Jericho, who celebrated by getting his ab workout in, and also celebrated by perhaps trashing his employer, maybe soon to be ex-employer. We don't know because some funny stuff happened. This comes to us from Cage Side Seats reporter Kane A. Knight. Chris Jericho insults AEW, says TNA looks like the second biggest company in the world. That's not really the controversy, though. The controversy is that this occurred on his podcast, and then after perhaps getting some heat for it, they edited out that portion. He's got the transcript of it here. I don't think I've watched an Impact. This is Jericho, courtesy of F4W Online's transcription. I don't think I've watched an Impact, a TNA match in ages, if not this decade at all. I was so impressed. Well, first of all, you guys, and he's talking about the Hardys and the Dudleys, you guys had a match. It wasn't even the match. It was the beginning part before you guys even locked up. It was the end part after it happened. Like that, I'm getting little goosebumps. That's pro wrestling in its ultimate form. That's all that matters, is that emotion and that reaction. That was one thing. Two, that crowd looked huge. It looked huge. It was like a WWE level crowd. And here's the part that is no longer on the podcast, apparently. The place was packed. I was watching this and not saying anything out of school here, but comparing it to watching Dynamite when they were in the ECW arena, which looked like a Tony Condello taping. Apologies to Tony Condello, whoever you are. Sorry, it did. TNA looked like the second biggest company in the world, and that was amazing. And the presentation was amazing. So where do you want to take it from there, John?
You got to see the clip to believe it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen.
There we go.
And we will go through the clip together.
You're getting the full meeting that should have been an email tonight on Don't Bury the Lead, as each of us tries sharing our screen.
Yes, but you have to see this because it's ridiculous.
Is it an obvious edit?
Yeah.
Bumps. That's pro wrestling in its ultimate form. That's all that matters, is that emotion and that reaction.
Oops, I paused.
We're getting there.
That was one thing. Two, that crowd looked huge. It looked huge. It was like a WWE level crowd, and that was amazing. And the presentation was amazing.
You catch it?
Not even huge.
That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Because they zoomed in on the edit.
The presentation was amazing.
You see how his arm shoots out
form.
suddenly?
That's all that matters, is that emotion and that reaction. That was one thing. Two, that crowd looked huge. It looked huge. It was like a WWE level crowd. And that was amazing. And
like his arm is like
amazing.
that.
But he was already moving the right arm, and because of the zoom, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, the editor did a good job cleaning it up. You got to give him credit where credit's due. The editor did a fantastic job going in there and just being like, trying his best to do it. If I was him, I would have panned to another wrestler, like agreeing or something like that, and then use that as the footage, not because he randomly has his arm out like that, So then you're like, why is he punching at the screen? Maybe you could go ahead and share your screen, and we'll share the article. And I'd be interested to hear, your hot take on what he said, and then also editing it.
What the edit wasn't bad from a technical standpoint. I'm hearing that. Let's see here. Are Jericho's comments from the bottom of the Cage Side Seats article? Are Jericho's comments about TNA even more evidence that he won't return to AEW program and practically has one foot back in the WWE door already? To me, it sounds like almost the opposite.
Yeah.
If he was leaving AEW, why edit that video?
Totally.
If you're quitting a job, like you care if the people at that job love you? I'm leaving. I gave my notice, whatever. If he's leaving AEW, there's no reason to edit that video.
The thing is,
unless Vince Russo is his agent and this is a swerve. Is this a swerve?
Is it a
John,
swerve?
is this a swerve? Are they editing the video as a swerve?
They're editing the video because it feels like he's going to go back to AEW. And then, bam, he's there at Royal Rumble.
Yes. There you go.
So I think
that's such a WWE thing to do, Seth Rollins' knee injury.
I think the thing is, it was It's not that big of a deal. He's been really good to AEW for his several years that he's been there.
Mhm.
He might and he might be playing a little hardball and just kind of self-consciously, like not really thinking about it, said, hey, I thought it was better than AEW, and just like not even thinking, oh, I work for this company. Maybe he's having like negotiations with Tony now, right? And he's just like, I don't know. Sometimes people say stuff like that, and um, I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's even true. I think it's actually ridiculous. Like TNA is not the number 2 company. AEW put 10,000 people in Philly when I went to go see them. They did a specialty show at ECW, yeah, but like they used that ECW arena. They could have put a lot more in another arena, but they want to full arenas and they're trying unique things out. That doesn't mean that they're not a number 2. TNA
Right, and
had
there's some nostalgia, right?
totally, and TNA had one big show, and if you look at TNA, all empty arenas. When
Mhm.
they, because my buddy, our buddy Brian Johnson from OTW, if you remember that guy, he
Yeah.
he wrestled at TNA, and he wrestled on one of their shows, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta watch this, and there was nobody in the crowd. So I don't think that that's necessarily true, but I do have to say it would have been better, and you can talk to this too. It would have been better if he left it in, because I know he said it, but I don't know
Mhm.
how he said it. Because sometimes when sometimes when you read what someone says, it's kind of like what I would like to call podcast mouth. Like you read what someone said during a podcast, and it sounds really bad, and then you go back and you kind of like watch the podcast to see what they said. And there's, a little bit more inflection in certain words when they say them. The way he said it might have been joking around, and he's just joking,
Mhm.
versus if you read it, it just seems a lot worse. So, I don't know what you think, Dom.
Well, sure, and not only do you not get really the nonverbal communication, all the things you're talking about that you could get from hearing it or even watching it if there's video involved. But if you delete it from the podcast and the print transcript is still out there, well, now everybody's going to think the worst of it.
Right?
Like, of course he said it to crap on them. Of course he said it terribly. Because if not, why would you have taken it out? Then that starts that whole rumor mill.
At the end of it seems like he crapped on them and then took it out, versus where he could even bill it. It's like, oh, I was just talking about how, oh yeah, that was bigger than our show. Okay, that would be it. You're like, obviously TNA is not number 2 company and AEW is great. One tweet and this whole thing would be resolved, not remove it from the podcast.
One tweet and not him just with his shirt off flexing the abs. Happy 55th birthday, Chris Jericho. Wherever you sign next and finish out your wrestling career, you're one of the all-time greats. This is just a weird story. Now, the other thing is he's saying that TNA looked packed. They looked like they were the second biggest company in the world. Yeah, for a show that had the Hardys and the Dudleys on it.
Right.
In the Dudleys' final match.
Retirement matches are big draws, right?
Retirement matches for WWE stars. That are
Yeah.
just in a different promotion now. Not even that different a promotion. I mean, is TNA even a separate total promotion from WWE with the affiliation they have?
It feels
They're
like
kind of like minor leagues, right?
it feels like the developmental of the developmental. They're the
Yep.
developmental of NXT. TNA.
Yeah, it's like maybe AAA and AA.
Yeah, it's like AAA, AA. You're right. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much talking about 4 WWE Hall of Famers, and 2 of
Yeah.
which are going to be, and I think they've wrestled recently enough that people would know who they are. It's not like crazy ones. It's not like Jerry the King Lawler's out there.
Yeah.
It's guys that are pretty active, and the Dudleys. I mean, there is an argument to be made that like they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Like,
And they have a history in TNA as well as WWE. Both Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy were world champions as singles wrestlers in TNA within the last 15 years, I think.
yeah,
I
totally.
think it was within the 2010s.
Yeah, when he was like, wasn't he like married to Hulk Hogan's daughter, Brooke, or something like that? That was like one of the
Yeah, that was
angles.
one of the angles. Yes, the aces and eights, which was a really cool angle. It was well done, and it showed what Bully Ray could do on the mic and as a singles wrestler. I think that was really good for his career.
Yeah,
It showed us in a way what we were missing all those years when he was part of a great tag team. Like you not to knock what the Dudleys did as a tag team, but it showed us what Bully Ray was capable of as a singles wrestler on his own.
One more thing here. We got TNA feels like the minor league for the WWE now, and then
Yeah, we were thinking the same way, same lines.
and Fixer says Chris Jericho is definitely WWE bound. Would you like to see Chris Jericho in WWE?
He's still got it. He's still got something.
He's still got something, right?
He's got something left to give, and he's still a great performer. He knows the psychology. You know, if you would like to see Jericho back in the WWE, put your name on the list.
Comment.
You make the list.
Yeah, right. Comment and let us know. You make the list here.
You just made the list. I have used Jericho, a still of him doing "You Just Made the List" on an article before for my Substack. So yes,
I love it. And the real ones will
totally did
know.
that.
Real ones would know what that means. You just made the
Yes.
list.
Right.
When he
Hey,
went,
I was making lists. I used Jericho with the clipboard saying "You just made the list."
if only I had a pen, I'd go.
Right. From Wrestling Inc. and Bree Coder, update on the status of cryptocurrency lawsuit against WWE star Logan Paul. Logan Paul is free and clear from a cryptocurrency lawsuit that was originally filed in February of 2023, according to new reports released by the Wrestling Observer newsletter. The former co-founder of CryptoZoo announced the NFT, that's non-fungible token, based game in 2021 where users could sell, buy, and trade digital animals and hybrids. The game never got off the ground, leaving investors furious that they were defrauded. Judge Alan Albright, the recent judge who presided over this case, dismissed it on October 29th, while additionally dismissing all 27 claims in the lawsuit by the plaintiffs that mentioned Paul. Paul has since filed a lawsuit of his own against his former business partners in this project, Eduardo Ibanez and Jake Greenbaum, calling them con artists who lied about their resumes, knowledge, experience, and intentions, and accused them of fraud and deceit. John, can Logan Paul travel to Japan?
Ask Dom Mysterio.
This is typical, right? He gets free and clear of the lawsuits against him. He's like, I'm gonna sue the other guys.
Right.
He is never turning babyface like this.
No. Especially because it was targeted to children.
Yes.
And he's like, no, it's all them, not me. It's like, dude, you promoted
everything he does targeted to children. The energy drinks, the Temu Lunchables.
The Temu Lunchable.
His fake digital dogs and cats on the video game.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, selling crap to little kids. That they are buying thinking that it will have value, and then it doesn't. And then he's like, of course not. It's a risk, loser, 8-year-old.
Paul remains on the docket for other pending lawsuits, including from the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, who allege his Prime Drink company used official words related to the Olympics without permission.
Let me tell you something.
We're now going into the Special Olympics.
No, it's Paralympic.
He's got heat with everybody.
He's got heat with the Special. I didn't realize it's Paralympic. Ugh.
The United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee.
Oh, they got the big time advantage as the baby faces, right?
Right.
I mean, come on.
These are all the people who come out with John Cena at WrestleMania before he loses.
Right. These are, these are the ones that are protected. Let's just say.
I remember John Cena coming out with all the Make-A-Wish kids right before Austin Theory beat him and made all of the Special Olympics kids cry.
Oh boy.
That's Logan Paul for you. Speaking of other lawsuits, it's like we're doing wrestling business the whole time.
Yeah.
The American Nightmare lawsuit against Cody Rhodes, WWE, and Fanatics. I don't know if you've heard about this. There's a musician who apparently has the American Nightmare trademark.
Mm.
Cody Rhodes has been allowed to do this because Wesley Icehold, the musician there, is known for leading the band Cold Cave and also co-founded another band, American Nightmare. He owns a trademark for the name in connection with music, clothing, and live performances. In 2021, while Runnels was pursuing his, that's Cody Rhodes, was pursuing his own American Nightmare trademark for wrestling purposes, he and Icehold came to an agreement that involved a $30,000 payment. Like many issues in trademark law, the concern centered around possible confusion in the marketplace. Basically, if apparel makers are using American Nightmare while not making it clear that it refers to Cody Rhodes, then the American Nightmare musicians are saying, hey, wait a minute. That's our name. You're
Yeah.
supposed to make it very clear that this is a pro wrestling merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
He alleged that WWE and Fanatics violated the agreement by selling apparel prominently displaying American Nightmare without sufficient reference to Cody Rhodes or otherwise making it clear that the item was associated with wrestling and not Icehold's band. Icehold
Wow.
argued that it created confusion among music and wrestling consumers. The musician was seeking damages of at least $150,000 and also possible treble damages. They just, is that a thing, or did they just get confused and throw a music term into there?
Did he write this with ChatGPT? What's going on?
Yeah, it was a treble damages. Like, did you turn up the high end too much? You got some treble damage. What's going on? You need some good EQing there on the soundboard. Meaning the court might order the defendants to pay up to 3 times the amount of actual damages if it found the infringement was willful. I think intellectual property is stupid, but other people don't, and there's a lot of money riding on it for the people who don't, since that's basically what the law says. I don't know how confusing this is. I do understand that this was apparently a very kind gesture by the copyright holders of the American Nightmare band to say, okay, you can use our band name and our apparel name as long as you make sure it clearly references pro wrestling. And now they're a little miffed that, they're like, hey, what's going on here? I especially think it's, and then I'll let you jump in here because I'm just ranting at this point. I especially think it's, for all of the crap that WWE, especially now that they're super duper corporate, gives everybody else anywhere over intellectual property, over trademarks, over non-competes, over everything, that you'd figure that WWE and anybody affiliated with WWE would get the message and not let this kind of thing happen.
Mm-hmm. Right. Totally. I'm like looking up American Nightmare. I think they're pretty big. I don't think they're huge. They're an older band. So maybe they don't have this. They have a lot of stuff like a decade ago. Yeah, I do think, at the end of the day, I feel like the 30,000 that he gave him was probably plenty to like be like, yeah, you can use it. And it is a bit still, I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch. If you got the 30K and you're like, wait a second, how won't they know it's our band? I'm like, because it's not your band. It's still at WWE. And I feel like, and I'm looking at the band, they're a punk band. Nothing's more punk rock than lawsuits over trademarks. Like you got your
absolutely.
You got your 30K, which is probably amazing. You got $30,000 for happening to have the same thing as Cody Rhodes, and they paid it out. Just take the money and run, and just, hey, we're also American Nightmare, So whatever. I don't know. I kind of challenge. I get the first bit, and I know they got the 30,000, but I challenge if they're like, Well, actually, you didn't say wrestler, so that they could think it's our gear. It's like, no, they don't. They're a wrestling.
You sold out. You sold out. You sold out. You sold out.
Perfect. Dom yells at clouds. Yes, bring it back, baby. I got to yell at more clouds. Oh, there might
The
be something.
punk band went total lawsuit over IP. How well, the fans are going to be confused. How will they know it's not our band? Because it's not being sold at your show.
It's at a wrestling show. They're not going to be like, oh, or people aren't going to see it and be like, oh, I love that band. Nobody knows the band. You know?
Maybe they could strike a deal where the American Nightmare Band does Cody Rhodes' new entrance music. I don't know.
Yeah, it should have been a little bit more cordial, like, and like, oh, hey, check out this band. They had the same thing as me, and like they do a Cody Rhodes thing over it. You know, there could have been some more creativity between the two of them, where they made money off of Cody Rhodes that way. You know,
Sure. Let's talk AEW, but for good reasons. From WrestleZone, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, that we got a sneak peek of the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Women's 250. PWI's done the PWI 500 for years. A little bit later, recent years, they've added the Women's 250. So the top 500 male wrestlers, top 250 women's wrestlers. Now that there's enough women's wrestlers in the world to make a list of 250 at least. Sneak peek at the top 10 in order. Mercedes Moné, Tony Storm, Saya Kimitani. The top WWE wrestler on the list is Tiffany Stratton, then Stephanie Vaquer, then Io Sky, Athena, Sarie, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley. This covers the period from October 1st to September 30th. That's their year. So it's kind of like the old fiscal year in business. October 1st to September 30th. Tony Storm was number one last year, apparently. She drops one spot on the list to a wrestler whom she defeated. But what does it say about All Elite Wrestling that the top two women's wrestlers on the PWI 250 are both AEW stars? John, you watch AEW. Is this deserved? Is it overrated? I mean, it can't be underrated.
Dom, obviously Mercedes Moné deserves it, and all that money that Tony Khan paid Mercedes Moné is paying off, as she is number one. She is number one. I'm saying this to troll all the people that hate her for no good reason. No, I really love these lists because they just get people so angry. I think the concept is, if you're, it's not it's kayfabe ranking. So
it's kayfabe rank. Now, in-ring ability plays into it, but it's how you've been presented, the year you've had as a performer.
So because Mercedes Moné only lost one time to Tony Storm, but has all the belts and wrestled in all these different companies and gotten these belts, she has like 12 belts now. She's a superpower, right? Like, she's destroying everybody around her. It totally makes sense why she's number one, because it's not like, oh, who's the best wrestler? It's not like you're Dave Meltzering it up right now. You're actually doing the opposite of Dave Meltzer. You're enjoying the storylines and you're enjoying the wrestling and deciding on wins and losses and stuff like that. Like, you were really treating it like a real sport. That's the way they do it.
And it is, there is the component that these have to be great athletes.
Sure.
You know, these have to be people who can really get it done in the ring. As far as the ones we've seen on SmackDown or in other WWE premium live events, I see 5 names there. Outside of the order that they're in: Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley. Would you have swapped out anybody for someone else on that list?
Tiffany Stratton should be at least 3, if not 2. She won so many matches. I mean, how long was she the champ? Almost a year.
And she didn't lose until after that September 30th cutoff.
Yeah. She was winning and winning and winning and won the belt. And she defended it a bunch.
Yep.
So I guess like her and Tony Storm, I don't know who Saya this Saya person must just be their top person in somewhere.
Maybe
don't know.
New Japan or somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably have had Tiffany Stratton be 2, or even I would say 3. I feel that also, if you really want to be honest, Tony Storm is a better performer than Tiffany Stratton. I mean, if we're really gonna do the coin flip here, Tony Storm is really fantastic. So
they're probably in the right order. Saya Kimitani is the World of Stardom champion, who is now also the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion. So she's apparently well decorated in other non-North American, non-European venues there. Current WWE Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer. But again, Vaquer got the main roster belt very late in this period here, in this judging period. But she had held the NXT Women's and Women's North American Championships before being elevated to WWE's main roster earlier this year. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi each held the WWE Women's World Championship during this 12-month period as well. The only person I may swap out here is, I don't want to forget about her. If you're counting September, basically October 1st to September 30th, I know she was injured for a portion of it, but Liv Morgan had a fantastic year until that shoulder injury happened.
Yeah. Because she was a champ.
In fact,
too.
she was being overworked. She was being so overworked that her shoulder injury screwed up 3 different Premium Live events.
Because Tiffany Stratton had a title and then Liv Morgan had it, right? Were they both?
No. Liv had it. Rhea took it from Liv. Io Sky took it from Rhea and then retained in that great WrestleMania triple threat with Bianca Belair. But Liv pivoted immediately from that world title run to a tag team run with Raquel Rodriguez. Did so much to elevate the Judgment Day and sort of bring them back up to the top. And she was being booked for everything they needed. She was supposed to headline that women's only pay-per-view against Nikki Bella until that shoulder injury happened. She was also supposed to be involved in that tournament they were holding for the women's world title. So she was in the hunt for the belt that Io Sky held, that Naomi eventually held, that had to be vacated eventually. So she was in so many different angles and so many different things. And we like Liv Morgan here at Don't Bury the Lead. She's one of the ones who really came into her own as we've been doing Don't Bury the Lead. So there's some people who've really elevated their game since you and I have been watching, John, and I feel kind of an attachment to them.
Yeah, right.
It was Karrion Kross, it's LA Knight, it's Gunther, it's Naomi, it's Liv Morgan,
Chelsea
it's
Green,
Sky, like all of these people who have grown in the 3 years and a month and a half that you and I have been doing this.
Chelsea Green.
I wonder if Naomi's did not have that strong of a year, if it's those areas. Like, she was losing a lot. Jade was beating the crap out of her. She got the crap beat out of her Elimination Chamber, couldn't even start the match. So Naomi, like, her character work for the last 2 months of this period was great. But I think maybe it's a stretch to have Naomi in there, especially above Rhea. I may have swapped out Naomi for Liv Morgan and put Rhea up above Liv in the 9 spot. But other than that, I can't argue too much with the 5 they selected there. I mean, Becky Lynch is awesome, but she missed a very significant portion of this time.
I would say one thing.
Also, Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Becky Lynch all missed significant time. Asuka and Charlotte was with injuries. So I think they selected the right ones. Bayley was just kind of out of sorts and out of an angle for a while. So I think they picked close to the correct 5 for WWE. You tell me, is there anyone else from AEW on this list? I don't know all the names. Is there anyone from AEW who you think could have cracked this top 10?
Athena for me should be lower or off. She is in Ring of Honor. And
Okay.
she might be dominant in Ring of Honor, but I'm like, yeah, but Ring of Honor is a developmental. So
Okay.
I think that has to be weighed in, right? I mean, you could be on. So I think Athena should be probably not on this list.
Okay, but they gave Stephanie Vaquer based mostly on her resume in NXT. So
Okay, yeah, you're right.
is Sari a wrestler for AEW? I don't know all of these people. No, wait, Marigold and IWGP, so another wrestler from Japan. So is there someone from AEW's main roster who you think had a better year than Athena? Since it's maybe not fair of us to comment on wrestlers that we really don't know. Like Saya Kimitani and Sari. Oh, okay, maybe they're awesome. I don't know.
So better AEW wrestler than Athena.
From October to September.
The thing is with Athena, I haven't seen any of her stuff because she's in Ring of Honor. So I'm assuming she's winning like crazy, but they don't have anybody winning like crazy. But I would say there's definitely a lot of talent on AEW that are good. But I guess Athena gets to get it because she like the kayfabe, like she's winning. She's like undefeated in Ring of Honor. So that's probably why they put her up there.
If this is being done with like MVP scoring system, AEW probably still wins because you get 14 for coming in first.
Yeah.
And then 9 for second, and then it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
AEW just has more dominant champs, and they let them wrestle and win titles in different areas, whereas WWE's hands are cuffed because they don't let them wrestle wherever they want. You can wrestle wherever you want if you wrestle for AEW. So they go to like the indies and they win the belts, and they do a lot of other stuff. They wrestle more matches probably. And, Rhea Ripley stuck at WWE, so she can't go win like an IWGP championship, even though she easily probably said, hey, I want to go to Japan and win the IWGP championship. They'd be like, please come, please win please take it from us. You know what I mean? Like they would love it, but I think that's where the rankings kind of stack up.
All right, well, there she is, the big picture there. That's Mercedes Moné. You may have, if you're a WWE fan, remember her as Sasha Banks. When she left the WWE in the huff that she left with the disposing of the tag team belts, did you think she would reach these heights as a singles wrestler elsewhere? What say you?
I knew she was great when she left WWE. I always liked her a lot. I liked her as a heel, and I knew when she left. Yeah, this isn't much of a surprise to me. I think she's leveled up because she's going on and she's wrestling totally different competition. She seems to have gotten even a little bit better in the ring. The only slight on her sometimes is that she's thin, but she's still athletic and she's still stiff as hell. So she's athletic, she's stiff as hell, and she can really go. So I think AEW did a great job signing her, and I think they did a great job booking her. Super, and she's not squashing people. She's wrestling regular matches and beating them, and just beating everybody. I think she's a real star, and they really needed it in the women's department because like I had mentioned, there's a lot of women that are diva-esque on their roster. Their women's roster is much thinner than WWE's roster, which is loaded. They should probably poach more talent from WWE, to be honest with you.
If WWE's roster is more loaded, according to PWI, not at the tippity top. It's Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm 1 and 2.
And this is why everyone hates the list. It gets them so mad. It gets them so mad because they don't understand. But it's like, yeah, they treat it like who's winning the most. They're treating it like wrestling is real. And if wrestling was real, who would be the best? Not like how much you like them or how big they are in the crowd, with the crowd, and how much merch they sell. Like that doesn't matter to them.
Well, I wonder if crowd reactions do play a role in it, because if they're sending you out there to win and or even just to lose and you're not getting crowd reaction, then that's not going to be working. I mean, it's good to know that Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm, and it looks like everybody else on this list, they're all really good athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody who made this list is a deserving athlete.
Mm-hmm.
and they're also very entertaining pro wrestlers. So very good for all of them. More AEW stuff. The walkout of Nixon Newell and Elise Miranda, Miranda Elise, keeps getting little bits of feedback, little bits of people chiming in with it. It's now Bryan Danielson who got involved in this situation. For those of you who are unaware, on the November 8th episode of Collision was set to air. Nixon Newell, formerly in the WWE, Tegan Knox, and Miranda Elise made headlines. They walked out of a scheduled tag team match. Apparently, that's not the biggest problem because they walked out just thinking that them getting 3 minutes in the match wasn't going to do anything for anybody. So apparently they parted ways with sort of kind of a mutual agreement. Hey, we're not signed to the roster. This isn't going to do anything for us if we just go out there for 3 minutes. So why don't you let somebody else have that spot? We'll leave. The problem seems to be when the couple's November 9th Twitch live stream hit. Oh, it's those podcasters, those live streaming podcasters.
These lives,
bottom of the barrel of humanity, these dregs.
These people on Twitch. By the way, if you're on Twitch, thanks so much for watching. And also, we're on YouTube. We live stream on YouTube. The Mother Load's on YouTube. Come check us out. Dom, keep going there.
They weren't so much. They were disappointed more, apparently, with what happened afterwards. Several figures within AEW claimed that had Elise not been active on social media regarding the internal conflict between her, Newell, and AEW, the situation could have ended smoothly and innocuously for all parties. Given the situation's wild publicity, hopes of resolution between the couple and AEW have been squashed like a Jade Cargill opponent in WWE. Newell's self-reported struggle for work will only continue to worsen as two independent companies have lodged complaints. One independent promotion reportedly ceased their talks with Newell following some undisclosed asks from the WWE star, and another independent company claimed that Nixon walked out of a scheduled surprise appearance and spot during a match, leaving her planned tag team partner and promotion out to dry. Wrestling Inc. was using a lot of Fightful Selects reporting here. Bryan Danielson, the former Daniel Bryan in WWE, he reported to have spoken to the couple at an undisclosed point in time. He claims that he was disappointed. The report claims that Danielson was disappointed with the walkout and subsequent match change. There's a lot of people who think that even if you're only getting 3 minutes, if it's on TV, you do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Make the most of your 3 minutes.
Yeah, at their level, they're acting like they're Hulk Hogan.
Right.
You know? Where he's like, that's not gonna work for me, brother. It's like, dude, you're not the Hulk. You're not. He's the most famous pro wrestler of all time in the peak of pro wrestling. When he says it's not going to work for me, brother, guess what? You got to make it work for him. Nobody knows who you are. You ain't Hulk,
You're 3 minutes on TV. You got to make the most of it. You're not Hulk Hogan at this point. You're LA Knight being booked in a video game squabble with Xavier Woods. Right. You make the most of it, baby.
Oh, what a great comparison.
Right? You make the most of it, baby. Pretty soon they'll be chanting, Nixon Newell, yeah. Not anymore, I don't think so. There's a lot of repair work that needs to be done there. All righty, up next, speaking of walkouts, Andrade is still having problems with his alleged non-compete drama. He apparently is able to wrestle in Mexico in non-U.S. territories. However, there's a report here from Clutch Points, reporter Andrew Corpin here. There's been a lot of talk. The latest development is that he walked out of a show. They're citing Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, that the former WWE and AEW wrestler walked out of a show in Mexico. And by all accounts, Andrade appeared unhappy with something. He did, however, fulfill his obligations to sign autographs at the event. And they go over here that the non-compete clause only applies in the United States. The show he allegedly walked out of took place in Mexico. So it's not as if WWE could have had their legal department called down to this promotion in Mexico and say, hey, he's not allowed to wrestle there. He apparently was allowed to wrestle there, but for whatever reason, as Dave Meltzer reports, Andrade was on the show, probably the main attraction. He was there signing autographs, and then he left. The only thing that we heard was that he was unhappy. His non-compete is only in the United States, so he can work Tijuana, he can work Mexico City. I'm not sure what's up here, but this can't be good. I mean, do wrestlers... I wonder if this is just because of modern media. We're hearing more about this stuff. Maybe stuff like this happened more often 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago in professional wrestling, especially maybe in the territory days, that people, they got to the venue, they've went through the dotting the I's and crossing the T's on the negotiations, and something went wrong, and somebody said, you know what, I'm not doing it. And maybe we just never heard about that. So I wonder how unusual this is in the world of professional wrestling, in the history of professional wrestling. But things are not going well for Andrade, apparently, or not as well as they could be going based on what's happening. The walkout. I don't know. He's still not. I would think that if he's not allowed to work in the U.S., he'd be jumping at the chance to wrestle anywhere that would have him. Like, I don't. He must have one heck of a nest egg saved up if he's going to actually ride out this 12 months without really working.
Yeah, he must have. Well, his dad is a famous wrestler, so.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he's got some of that money. He was in WWE for a while. AEW pays pretty well. It's weird that he wouldn't just jump all over anything.
Yeah, especially down in Mexico where he's got a following, being Latino. Mm-hmm. He can wrestle their style even as a slightly bigger wrestler than most of the masked luchadors.
Right.
I mean, he's really an unusual wrestler in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
he'd have no problems cutting promos in Spanish down in Tijuana or Mexico City. So I mean, he could be a 5-tool player, as they say in baseball, down wrestling for some of the Mexican promotions here. So hope he can get things together. He and Ray Phoenix were having a pretty good run as a newly put together tag team before stuff went south with Andrade.
That's really a shame they couldn't keep them together.
Yeah, because they were doing well. They had won what I think was match of the year on SmackDown this year.
Mm-hmm.
That 5-way for the #1 contendership. I mean, they did a great job. I hope Andrade can get his wrestling world and whatever else may be bothering him together there. Let's end on some good news. All Elite Wrestling, they put together a Thanksgiving Eve promo for their show that's going to be on Thanksgiving Eve. I'll leave the sound off here, but it's got a lot of their wrestlers here in the video.
You can put the sound on and play the video.
There's let's see here. We've got Ricochet is in there. They're lighting the candles. That looks like Orange Cassidy. And name all the people here. Is that Willow Nightingale?
Willow Nightingale.
Mark Briscoe.
Mm-hmm.
And Orange Cassidy. Very good. They're all here. Who else is at the door? It's Ricochet.
And his 2 thugs. I don't know who they are.
And his 2 thugs. Ricochet and his version of Imperium. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who else is here? They're breaking corn. All right. That's Toni Storm. And who's behind her? Is that Mira Shirakawa?
That's her, yeah.
Okay. Toni Storm. And for someone who doesn't watch AEW, I'm getting some of these people. This is a really good promo so far. There they are. That's Eddie Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
He's the bouncer. They're going to leave him at the door. These are 3 people. I don't know who they are. One of them was upside down.
One of them is the girl that bled too much during the thing, and I said she's not a good wrestler. She shouldn't bleed that much.
Okay.
On the right.
This one here.
Sky. Her last name's Sky.
Sky. And this one
Her
is
name's Sky Blue, and the other one is Julia Hart. They both suck.
well, they're on the main roster, and somebody is doing the crab walk here. Do you know this person?
I don't know who that is. Oh, that might be the Spider Girl. She's pretty good.
Okay, well, she's doing the spider thing then. Okay, there we go. That's the spider thing. Who else is here? Who else is in the club? It's the Young Bucks. They
Yeah.
didn't bring anything because apparently they're broke. It's the former EVPs, kayfabe. It's Matt and Nicholas Jackson. There they are all together enjoying. Who brought the bird? Brian Danielson. Where's the turkey? It's you, Brian Danielson. You're the turkey. No, who's this?
She's a comedy act. Oh God, I forget her name. I don't know. Casey something?
It's
No.
not Chris Stratlander.
Mm-mm.
It's not the person who was with Jericho, right?
No.
And it's not Britt Baker, the dentist.
I forget her name. Macy?
Maybe Macy. She's got a bird, though, and it's a puppet of a turkey. Apparently, no actual turkeys were harmed in the making of this commercial. Toni Storm just faded because she found out she is behind Mercedes Moné on the PWI 250 this year. Brian Danielson, have a great job, AEW. Great promo there for the Dynamite that is happening on Thanksgiving Eve. Two other wonderful bits of news here on the health front for those of us who remember these guys. Lex Luger, haven't been able to do this for almost 2 decades. Thank you to my good friend, Real DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and DDP Yoga. Lex Luger out of the wheelchair, able to climb the step ladder and do things like this. Didn't know that it was going to be possible.
That is so cool.
Right?
That is amazing.
Yeah, he's had a rough time of it post-wrestling.
Yeah.
And Mick Foley from WrestleZone here talking about losing some weight and having a new lease on life. We covered months and months ago that he was perhaps planning a retirement match, a Mick Foley's final match, and he had to back out for some health reasons. And he's talked about, he was talking with Chris Van Vliet. He dropped like 90 pounds. At one point, he'd gone from 372 to 273, which is closer to 100. It's 99 pounds. May have taken it too easy for a while, crept back up towards 300. Now it's down to around 275. He's still lost close to 100 pounds. Hip and knee replacements, those were game changers, but he feels better. He was talking to Kevin Nash. If I pass someone in the airport, I was always the guy where people were like, hey, sir, you move to the side. And I was starting to pass people, which didn't mean I was fast. And I don't want to over-exaggerate the amount of pain I was in, but I think I've got a pretty high threshold, do you think?
Yeah.
I don't want to say agonizing, but it was more than severe, the pain he was in. So dropping weight means he's in less pain, which is always a great thing about getting in better shape and just dropping pounds. Less pressure on your bones, your joints, your muscles, less pressure on your heart and lungs. He's still got some weight he could lose if he's 275. But the fact that he dropped nearly 100 pounds is great news. He feels better. You know, compared to how I felt for like 10 to 15 years, yeah, I'm doing a lot better. Good news for two old timers there, Lex Luger and Mick Foley. John, even though we ended on a nostalgic and heartwarming note there, it is still pathologically frugal. It is still unseasonably warm. What is it, my friend?
It's cheap heat. One thing I do want to call out with Foley, he replaced his hip. They didn't realize that was the problem. That's one thing that's made him feel a lot better, rather than because they were always doing work to his back incorrectly because the pain was there, but it was actually his hip. 1, 2, him not wrestling that match and instead going on a weight loss journey was a significantly better idea than having a match. I
Right?
mean, he could have probably gotten way more injured, destroyed his hip, and been like in an awful situation.
Sure.
That's the thing too. And the one thing he did was he was on Ozempic, and Ozempic is a weight loss drug that is pretty popular these days, and it was helped him to lose all that weight. So, taking Ozempic, he's totally a candidate for it, because sometimes there's some critiques of like celebrities who want to lose like 5-10 pounds to get Ozempic.
Yeah, right.
You don't need to do that. If you're that much overweight, though, you need to throw the kitchen sink at it. And Ozempic helps you stop eating. Like it modifies your hormones to make you stop eating, and makes you feel like stop thinking about food, and it makes you feel full all the time. So that way you can eat, and when you're eating, you're just eating, what you need. You can regulate what you eat. When you're a guy like Mick Foley and you're 375 pounds, the problem is you love food like crazy and you can't control it. All you think about is food.
And to your point, if he had wrestled that last match, gotten extra injured, and had even less mobility, that would have been worse for any gains that he would have been trying to make. So I'm imagining that with the hip replacement, that even if he's taking some medication to help with the hunger cravings, he still has to be moving a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, if he had wrestled at that age and had a major injury, you kill him, And he's wrestled a million matches. Like, hang him up, bud.
Right. It could have been a Sabu situation almost, sadly.
Sadly, exactly. That was the Sabu thing. And you look at what he's done in his career. He's got nothing left to do. He doesn't need to have a match. Nope. He could shoot a good promo for some company. That'd be more impressive than a match, because he could always talk, right?
Yes, he could do what Kevin Steen did for the mountain wrestling promotion that we covered.
Yeah.
In a previous Cheap Heat. He could still be that guy. If he's got the mobility and the health back, he could make his way around to wrestling conventions and be a huge star.
Oh, I got some Fixer. We're gonna hang on the line here for this last segment, which is no longer.
I did see that there. When we get to, I did see his chats there coming in.
Let's see. You know what? I'll put up his chats just so we can kind of. I think that's always good. The Italian goodbye.
Sure.
What did I say? I wanted to. Oh, I forget what I wanted to say during the Italian goodbye already. It'll come to me.
Okay, well, we've got chats there. Andrade will have problems getting work when WWE have their fingers in almost everything. That's one angle, unfortunately. Like if the wrestling promotions have it in their minds that someday they want to have a partnership with WWE, they may be walking on eggshells with anybody that the WWE has, in a sense, put on the persona non grata list.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Paul is a real life heel. He'll never become face. Never say never. It's pro wrestling.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he'll always be a heel, based off based off of all from what he showed me as a person, like what he still is involved with outside of wrestling. I think it's always going to be some BS that he does.
Could he be a babyface in Japan?
They love him there. They love him. They love when he goes and makes fun of people that kill themselves.
What was the artist that had that song "Big in Japan"? Was that an '80s song, "Big in Japan"?
I don't know about that one.
I know there was a song turning Japanese,
Mm.
but like "Big in Japan." Joe Henry better not be the mystery opponent on Raw. I like Joe Henry, but I don't want it to be him. I want a surprise like we had on SmackDown. What do you think, Fixer? Was Matt Cardona coming back to reprise the Zack Ryder gimmick a good idea for the surprise on SmackDown? I thought it was fun. There. Oh, that's Johnny Autism Wrestling is here. Thank you. You're Johnny Autism. Joe Henry. You like Joe Henry. Tell us more about Joe Henry. And did you know him from his days in TNA, or did you only know him when he started making WWE cameos like Royal Rumble and WrestleMania against Randy Orton? Joe Henry, I feel, is close. And if rumors are true, he's finalized his contractual agreements with the WWE. All right, very cool. Johnny Autism, were you pleased with Matt Cardona reprising the Zack Ryder gimmick as the surprise on SmackDown? Because the surprises are always, it's like, okay, who are they bringing in? Is it someone with a WWE long history? Is it someone totally new who has a name from somewhere else? What is it? I enjoyed the Matt Cardona surprise, even though I knew nothing of Zack Ryder. I just know him as Matt Cardona.
No, I thought that was great. I do want to say one thing. Johnny Autism Wrestling 579, maybe the best username that's come across here. But great job, Johnny Autism. But yeah, so
and apparently there are at least 578 like you.
I love it.
You could have your own PWI 500. What did you think of that, John? Were you expecting Joe Hendry to be one of these surprises in the John Cena tournament?
No, but
Okay.
I could definitely see it. I think Fixer was saying earlier it looks like Joe Henry. Oh yeah, right. Joe Henry is close to signing with the WWE.
Close to signing full-time and not just being a TNA call-up. Johnny Autism says he loves Matt as Zack Ryder. I thought they had a good match, him and LA Knight. And I don't know much about the Zack Ryder character from WWE and his history there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they had a really good match. I thought it was match of the night. It's the kind of match that you need for these TV shows. You need really good matches that don't need to go over 10 minutes. Okay, Zack Ryder apparently in LA Knight had a good backstage. I did not see that, but that's pretty cool. You actually used that name in the ring. You are an indie wrestler yourself, Johnny Autism. Friggin' awesome. We love it. John and I used to take part in New Jersey Championship Wrestling, NJCW, very small indie outfit in our part of New Jersey here. John was the Bonsall Street Bomber, a reference to a rather rundown and rough part of Philadelphia across the river from us. And I was Dr. Lester, Doc Lester, the commentator and occasional interviewer of talent in the ring and ringside there. Wrestlers like John would often make fun of me and berate me because they were heels, and that's what you're supposed to do.
This is true. Dom, you were like single play-by-play man.
Yes.
Because we only have one announcer, so that actually worked, I felt like. And then you also were Mean Gene. You were Mean
when
Gene.
I needed to be. I did some ring interviews, yes, talking with the crowd, warm-up act.
You did the warm-up act too, which is usually done by the ring announcer. So yeah, you were wearing a lot of hats. You were like the guy.
I never had to, get in the ring and take a bump. I just had to wear my $5 brown blazer that I got at the Glass Barrel Thrift Village many years ago just for this gig.
Johnny Autism, fantastic pro wrestling name. Do you have any stuff on YouTube? I'm curious.
Oh, yeah. Tell us if you've got stuff that we can find online of you. Tell us what promotions you wrestle for and if we can find you there. Johnny Autism, welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We are in the Italian Goodbye here, which is where John and I, the show's over and we're supposed to be leaving, but we just can't leave. There's always something else that pops up. It's like, oh, did you hear about that? Remember this? Oh, we were talking about that. Wait, I've got some leftovers for you. Let me put them in a container. Well, that's going to fall. Let me get you a bag. It takes forever to get out the door. Did you like the cannoli? Did you like the biscotti? We'll wrap up some of those to go for as well. You can have it with your coffee. You can dunk the coffee, the biscotti in the coffee. and have the cannoli on the side. Very good. Fixer saying, I think Roman and Brock could appear on Raw this week, which would cement their appearance at War Games. Well, they have to. There's not many chances left. There's 2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns as we record this on Saturday, November 15th. You've got Raw on the 17th and 24th. You've got SmackDown on the 21st, and then Survivor Series Eve on the 28th, where there's not going to be crazy announcements made on the 28th, I would imagine. I would imagine you want stuff to have at least a few days, like no later than the Raw of that week on the 24th, for social media to get out there, for people to know about it before the Thanksgiving holiday hits, for everybody to decide, yes, I want to spend my money on Survivor Series. Roman and Brock could appear this week, reprising their old feud. 2 of the big old WrestleMania main eventers. Roman Reigns added to the CM Punk team. Brock Lesnar added to the Vision team. That would make it 5-on-5. CM Punk, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes. And could it be Roman Reigns as the 5th man versus the Bronze, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre? And we've been thinking Brock Lesnar for a while. I wonder if Brock just has so few dates allowed from his contract that they're not going to bring him out until they're absolutely ready, because you can't just waste him for, a cheap promo. If Brock's on the show, he's got to do something. He's got to beat somebody else up. It's got to be a schmaz of some sort. Huge, big announcement. Cutting it pretty finely. I mean, they have to. There are so many premium live events. When they used to run 4, Survivor Series got to build from SummerSlam. They had all of September, all of October, most of November, and even whatever was left of August. But now that they have a pay-per-view every 4 weeks, it's cutting it close. They almost have to do angles and feuds that overlap pay-per-views so that, stuff is starting before even the pay-per-view, or once or twice previous to it. AJ Lee is a shoo-in for women's War Games. She would have to join the babyface team. That would make 4. Rhea, Io, Alexa Bliss, AJ Lee on the babyface team. Does that mean that Becky Lynch is on the heel team to round out their 5th? And then who becomes the 5th for the babyfaces? All I know is Io Sky once again is in War Games. No woman on the WWE roster has wrestled in more War Games matches than Io Sky. If you've never seen her in War Games, it will become obvious why she is always in War Games once you watch her. Spoiler alert, somebody has to jump off the top of the freaking cage. It's usually Io Sky. Yes, Becky will be on the heel team, especially if AJ Lee is involved on the babyface team. Maybe Maxine Dupree joins the babyface team. She's had a really impressive run against Becky Lynch recently, which I always like to see. I like to see people who work hard on moving from valet to wrestler do well. B-Fab did it. Meechin did it. Now it looks like Maxine Dupree is doing it. She's been working out with Natalya and I think it's Tyson Kidd at the dungeon. She has looked much better recently. Now it helps that she's going against Becky Lynch. I mean, Becky Lynch knows she knows how to call a match and knows how to make people look good, especially if they're supposed to be baby faces. Because Becky Lynch is a wonderful heel. She knows how to do it. So if Becky goes on to the heel team, then it opens up lots of possibilities to play off of that on the babyface team. AJ Lee and maybe someone else. I hesitate to say Bailey because if it's Bailey, it's got to be Lyra Valkyria with her. So if AJ Lee is not, so maybe that's why they opened up 2 spots on the women's team, because it's going to be Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. I think they'll still get Charlotte Black in the match, either via having the heels attack her or Rhea Ripley saves Charlotte. Well, they got 3 shows to do it. They got a Raw, they got a SmackDown, they got a Raw. So let's see if they can wrap this up. I thought they did a good job of in a very short amount of time bringing Sami Zayn back into the original bloodline for last year's War Games. And that was on short notice. But on the other hand, Sami had a program already going with Jimmy and Jey Uso. It was just getting Roman to like him again. So things can be done in a short period of time if they're playing off some history, if they're playing off some reference points that regular viewers already have, so everything doesn't look brand new and haphazard. And like, why am I watching this? On the other hand, everybody involved in the match is a tremendous athlete. So if you don't need a well-developed, complex storyline and you just want to watch the wrestling, it'd probably be some really good wrestling. I'm that kind of person. The in-ring product always is the deal maker or deal breaker for me. I don't care how good the promos are and how good the angles are. If I get a crap payoff in the ring, I'm like, what? I don't need this. On the other hand, if I get 0 build whatsoever, like between LA Knight and Matt Cardona coming back as Zack Ryder, that's the best. I don't care if there was no build. I don't care if there was no storyline. I don't care if there was no angle. I don't care if there was no history. Those guys went out and had a great match. To be honest, the best option is to have Rhea Ripley save Charlotte. Probably because it's Charlotte who first voiced the concerns. So yeah, maybe Rhea Ripley shows that she can put aside their history and do what they need to do. They had at WrestleMania 39 the best women's wrestling match I've ever seen, when Rhea won the title from Charlotte Flair. And I heard that Charlotte Flair basically called that match, which you would expect a veteran to do. She did just a magnificent job, not only wrestling the match, but if it's true that she called the match, it was amazing. It was amazing. Johnny Autism, you wrestle for Devotion Championship Wrestling in Utah. Everybody watching, don't bury the lead either on the live stream or on the archive recording there over at YouTube. Check out Devotion Championship Wrestling. Let's see if we can do a search and find them online. If Devotion Championship Wrestling is online, we want to see if there is a Johnny Autism match available on the interwebbies.
Do you know how Manny Lemons?
Do we know Manny Lemons? I do not know Manny Lemons.
I thought he was yes. Do you know how? Wow, I read that like. Do you know how many lemons?
I'm thinking that's the name of a pro wrestling character, Manny Lemons. I do not know Manny Lemons.
I was gonna say, Dom, I'm gonna go step away. Do you want to keep running here?
I think we've just about exhausted it. We're talking War Games. We're talking everybody. We've already told them, go look at Devotion Championship Wrestling from Utah. And see if you can find some Johnny Autism wrestling matches.
All right, Dom. Well, yeah, Johnny Autism will definitely hit you up. I'll subscribe to
The Fixer is fantasy booking here. Fixer, we will have to see if any of these things come true. But we will remember if it happens that Charlotte's back in the fold and it's AJ Lee and that fills out the program that you had it called here.
And let me tell you something. The Fixer, thanks so much for hopping on as always. Great comments from you today, especially during the SmackDown segment. I think that's always fun when you give us some feedback and the three of us can chat about it. Johnny Autism Wrestling, we're here every Saturday night, unless it's not Saturday night, but we
Yes.
try to be here every Saturday night. And let me tell you something. If you're around Saturday night, check us out. If you subscribe to our channel, we post when we do live streams. So it's always great to have people in, new people in. You were a lot of fun to talk with tonight and very interesting to get your feedback because you actually are an indie wrestler.
Yes.
So, hey, Johnny Autism Wrestling, also hilarious name, Johnny Autism. Johnny Autism and the Fixer, thanks so much, guys. Dom, as always, thank you, my friend. And have a great rest of your evening.